basketball. I'm going to call this, let me get more positive, a Jimmer of Hope. Jimmer of Hope. My man, Jimmer Fredette. A lot of y'all might have forgot Jimmer Fredette, and a lot of y'all may not know this is the first time. It's only the second time the Olympics have had it. It'll be the first time the Americans are going to play in it. There's 3-on-3 basketball this year. So that's new. That's interesting. I like it. I'm a big fan of 3-on-3. It's basically what you think it is. I mean, it's just like the 3-on-3 you play at home. It's half court. There's a 12-second shot clock. That's the one difference. But, I mean, other than that, you got to clear the ball out after a make or miss. First to 21 in 10 minutes wins. It's ones and twos. I mean, it's basically the 3-on-3 that you guys, and I will go to LA Fitness somewhere and play. It's just with much better players at a much higher level, and they're going for a gold medal in the Olympics. And they got other guys, Kareem Maddox, Dylan Travis, Canyon Barry on the team. Canyon Barry, famously son of Rick Barry. But the thing that's going to make this interesting for me is that guy, the guy at the top, Jimmer Fredette, who I still say never got a fair shake. I am a big proponent of being a former shooter, small college and stuff, leave me alone. But, I mean, I did play a little bit. And so having to be on the opposite side of, like, watching guys like a Patrick Beverley or a Dylan Brooks or now Draymond Green, I don't like how the balance has always been okay if you're only a good defensive player and you're a shit offensive player. That's the same counter yin and yang to me of like you're only good at one side of the floor and the other side you're almost detrimental and you need your team to help you out. Somehow it's acceptable to let the Beverleys on the court and the Greens on the court when he's struggling, you know what I mean, and others. But the guys that could score, the Jimmer Fredettes, I would say Jeremy Lin was part of this raw deal. There's been other ones as well, but guys who are offensive wizards, and that's harder to teach. It is harder to become an offensive wizard than it is to become a defensive athletic hustler who can work and play good defense and hustle and scrap. You can find those in a lot of places. It is hard to find guys like Jimmer freaking Fredette. And he never really got to, he got a couple runs, he got a couple chances, and I know it didn't work out, and a lot of people say it's the defense, and I get it, but I do think there's a prevailing attitude of somehow the defensive guy who's an offensive idiot is allowed to play because it's okay because he really helps out on that side of the floor, yet somehow the offensive genius, which is harder to find, needs to be put on the bench because he's not that good at defense, even though Team D... Do you get what I'm saying? That there's a weird lack of fairness there that bothers me, and Jimmer's always been at the top of that. So I'm really rooting for him. Obviously, also being from America, I hope they get it done because a lot of people forgot, or maybe you don't know. Maybe you're a young kid. I do a lot of this shit on TikTok. Jimmer Fredette was a stud. Jimmer Fredette, pop the video up. We got some highlights of him in 3-on-3. In case y'all don't know who this is, Jimmer Fredette was a 2011 NCAA Player of the Year. They called it Jimmermania. It was insane. Jimmer used to go off. I mean, this dude was averaging 29 points per game in college. In college. I mean, Caitlin Clark. He's basically the male Caitlin Clark. If I can put it together of like the level of hype and people watching him, somewhere between Caitlin and Steph Curry was Jimmer Fredette. Jimmer Fredette was that one. Again, 29 points per game. 40% from threes. He's one of the first ones to really bring in the logo three. Actually did right around the same time or a little bit before Steph of bringing that into popularity and to actual basketball. Took BYU to the first Sweet 16 they had since like 1981. Jimmer Fredette is that one. And I've never thought he got a fair shake in the NBA because of, the defense and other things and not being able to be like, well, dude, I'm the best, one of the best offensive players the world's ever seen. 3-on-3 is a little different, and so hopefully he's able to bring us the gold. But, I mean, I'm rooting. Jimmer of Hope. Jimmer Fredette. That's my guy. I'm rooting for him. I hope you do your thing. I never thought you got a fair shake. Jeremy Lin, I'll throw in there. I don't think ever got a fair shake. There's certain guys who have always been like, I really want to see them get some ability to kind of prove themselves. And so he gets a chance to do it. And go look up old Jimmer highlights, man. Jimmer was that dude. Jimmer was that dude from the I Am Him tribe. He was that one. Very Caitlin Steph if they had a Mormon baby. I don't know if he's actually Mormon, but he went to BYU. They do not do what they do at the Olympics. Let me put it that way. Having sex. That's a whole other conversation. Soaking? Really? Gross. Sorry. Back to the world.